Well, Dave, as the takeover of Newcastle United seems to inch ever closer, so speculation over their managerial plans seems to intensify. A story that was led by Sky Sports News yesterday, Mauricio Pochettino, the first choice of the new owners. Now, that's something we touched on the football show before, and it's probably worth saying that Steve Bruce in the hot seat at the moment and doing a good job, certainly not letting anyone down. But there's just this one line in the story by Sports News that was picked up in the papers that I thought was a development and was worth us expanding on. Pochettino is keen on a return to the Premier League. No surprise there, but is known to be interested in the role. And if I put that to you, Jamie Carragher, first, known to be interested in the role, that's not far short of he wants the job. And I suppose, is it reasonable to expect that new owners want a new man?
Yeah, it is. I mentioned this last week. I think people in football would love Steve Bruce to get a chance. But if you're looking at owners coming in, and whether it was football or any business, I always feel if that person is not the guy you want to manage your club, why sort of just stop doing what you want to do right from the beginning, instead of maybe giving Steve Bruce 100, 200, 300 million and he's not your guy, and you're doing it just to appease people in some way so people don't criticise you for changing a manager straight away. I think if a new regime comes in and they don't feel Steve Bruce is the man they want to take them exactly where they want to go, they've got every right to change that. If they do believe Steve Bruce is the right man, happy days, for everyone. And as I said, people would love to see him get given a chance. But I don't think new owners coming to Newcastle should be criticised if they change the manager. They want to hit the ground running. And Pochettino was the best possible manager I think Newcastle could get right at this moment. He's available. You're talking about Pochettino actually almost saying he would like the job. At this moment, Pochettino was getting linked with bigger jobs than Newcastle, and the Newcastle job, even though there's great excitement up there, and I'm pleased for them in some ways, but it won't be straight away right to the top. There'll be lots of players who come in who don't work, who cost lots of money, and you'll have to replace, and that's just a building process. I think the perfect example of that is what happened at Man City, and a similar situation with Mark Hughes, the club bringing certain players in, Rubinho, trying to sign Kaka. And they were trying to go for players that they probably didn't need right at that moment. And the building process then started a little later. And you see the great success that he had. So I think certainly if the funds we hear about are similar to Man City, they are the model for them. But with Pochettino, he is getting linked with things like Real Madrid and Manchester United. They're far bigger clubs than Newcastle and right at the top end now rather than where Newcastle are. So it would be a big decision if he did put his hand up to take the Newcastle job, and then, for instance, maybe the Manchester United job was available in 6 to 12 months.
It's interesting. Let me come in here, Patrick, because I just wanted to pick up on Pochettino in particular and where his reputation's at, because Jamie says it was only a few months ago that he was being linked with Manchester United, with Real Madrid potentially. I just wonder, Jamie Redknapp, whether you feel his reputation has been damaged at all by what happened in the last few months at Tottenham.
Yeah, and first of all, David, can I say I think people have to have more respect for Steve Bruce as well, because he's done a really, really good job at Newcastle. And I think the fact that we're talking about other people coming into his job, why can't you give an opportunity? Why can't you say to Steve Bruce, there you go, there's some money, let's see what you can do? Because he's probably never had that opportunity before, and there's nothing to say that he couldn't manage a top six club, nothing at all. He knows the game inside out. Everybody was predicting Newcastle to go down this year, and they've done a great job. He's done a great job, with players that I don't think are maybe at their top level, and he's put them in a position, obviously, whether the season starts again, whatever happens, I think he deserves a bit more respect than probably what he's getting. As for Mauricio Pochettino, yeah, of course, he's a really good manager. Towards the end of his Tottenham time, it became sour. You could see that he was not enjoying it. I think the relationship with the owner and Mauricio had soured so much that they couldn't really, it couldn't carry on. I think they had different ideas about the players they wanted. Going to Newcastle, was that a good opportunity if he were to get the job? Of course it is. But it's one thing living in Newcastle and living in London. He's been used to living in London for a long time. So let's see how that one develops. But I personally feel that Steve Bruce deserves an opportunity.
And how about this for a twist, Jamie Redknapp? Mauricio Pochettino last night on Tottenham. In my heart, I'm sure our paths will cross again. Deep inside, I want to go back. Is Tottenham that sort of club at the moment? Could you ever see that happening?
Well, I would be too happy if I was Jose Mourinho and he was saying that, because he's trying to get on with a job there as well. So that's a difficult one. But no, look, of course, look, sometimes with managers, they say the right thing to keep the fans on side, etc. And the fans do genuinely love him there. That will never change. And look, you never know. Jose went back to Chelsea a few times, and in a couple of years' time, he might want to go back to Tottenham. That might be something they revisit. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if in a few years he managed Tottenham again.